Welcome. It's a Liberal Buzz show. And my name is Denise Dorey. I'm your host. I follow Twitter. I've got some articles to share with you on there about being on a civil grand jury. Because democracy is going to take our participation. And being on a civil grand jury, it means a citizen can subpoena a government agency. Now that's part of the show. And then the other part will be, I'm going to get some the newest comments from Shona and the cannabis community, as well as Jeff Sessions, who is kind of backtracking on making cannabis illegal, quite possibly because the GOP, they're kind of like the Koch brothers, are a major donor to them, and the GOP also, the Koch brothers are, Monsanto and all, they're all tied in together. They take money from them. It's just creepy. So anyway, here's the Twitter for today. Give me a follow if you feel like it. I'll follow you back. I'm just trying to be the person my microwave thinks I am. And how about if we replace the word poor with economically disadvantaged? I know it takes more letters than a hashtag. And yeah, so big pharma, GOP, healthcare it's predatory politics on steroids. If you didn't think it was predatory politics with the drug prices, it's really bad now. So, well, it will be. I'm thinking positive about this. So I'm just saying we have a civil rights grand jury participation. It's a short presentation I'm gonna show you. I think it's good public information to know. Here we go.
It's a big time commitment. I won't mince words. We have to meet every week, and then there are subcommittees that you can be part of, and then you can actually investigate whatever you want to investigate. So in the past, there's been investigations about some big issues like homelessness, muni, the rising tides of the ocean, all kinds of things. Just limited by imagination. So the requirements to be a member are you have to be passionate about the city, which I know you all are, you wouldn't be here. You want to make a difference. And so you can really make a difference as a member of the civil grand jury. We have applications here. Anybody wants one, I can hand one out.
Yes, and I have one of those applications, so we'll go over it. But would you like to hear the rest of what he has to say? I think the audio is kind of bad, but basically he's saying that citizens will have the subpoena. Let's see if you can hear him. Okay.
You like one?
And then he passed those out, and then
It's people on the committee. So it goes through a long process. It takes somebody who really likes to write. So usually what the civil grand jury does is pick out somebody who's very anxious to write. They do a first draft, then it goes through the whole committee, the whole grand jury to be decided. I'll tell you one of the fun things about the civil grand jury is you have a right to subpoena power. So if you want to talk to somebody in the city and they won't talk to you, you can subpoena them.
so having subpoena power really, I said, give me one of those. So basically, they want to know. If you're, your race and how did you learn about the civil grand jury, and they want to know if you're a citizen. They want to know if you're at least 18. So, are you currently an elected, appointed public official? Then you'll be excluded. You can't be, because it's a conflict of interest, kind of like our government is right now. The rest of it. So we gotta be a beacon here in San Francisco, because we're where it's happening, and so we have to really be a beacon for that. And so to do that, we have to participate in our democracy more. And this is one way to do it. Serve on a jury. I don't mind serving jury duty. You have to spend 5 to 10 hours a week during and after business hours to work for the civil grand jury and its committees. And then you have your educational background, occupation, employer name, let's see. And why they want to know why you want to be a civil grand juror, and you have experience in writing and editing. You have experience in gathering facts and analyzing data, and your computer skills, community service. So you can find the link to it on my Twitter here. It's right here. Let's see, Twitter. There's a link. Oh, it's on my Facebook actually. It's over here. I've got the link on my Facebook, and it's my Facebook is public, so anyone can see what I'm talking about. Here it is, the participation information. It's like the third posting I've got from the top is how a citizen can subpoena a government entity, and it's civil grand jury. So you would go if you live in San Francisco. There's 58 counties in California. So if you live in the city and county of San Francisco, the civil grand jury, I imagine, is at 400 McAllister, right adjacent to City Hall. And so it just got me excited. Wow, a person like me can, maybe take on, I don't know, Microsoft. I'm just being brave and careful going home. And so it's a civil grand jury is 19 members randomly drawn from a pool of applicants who volunteer to serve for a 1-year term. And the civil grand jury is a watchdog that investigates the operation of the city and county's government, including its officers, departments, and agencies. Civil grand jurors are San Franciscans. You have to live in San Francisco and are passionate about the city and want to make a difference in our community. So you have a chance to, like, what if somebody is doing things oh, here we go. Individual jurors bring ideas. So the more diverse we are, the better it is, really. The more diverse a jury. And paid jurors is never a good idea. It's always good to volunteer, because paid juries are just you see how the government's going in the rest of my case. And the entire civil grand jury meets once a week, generally in the late afternoon, and the subcommittees meet as needed. So most of the jury's work takes place during regular hours, business hours. And this pool begins in July. It's a year commitment, and you have to be 18, of course, and no felony convictions, and be able to speak English. Multilingual is probably better. So it always is. So the civil grand jury actually are representing the city and county of San Francisco's residents by selecting relevant and timely issues to investigate. The jury's reports add a different perspective to the discussion and debates of issues that affect San Franciscans. So the civil and grand juries investigate both small and large issues, big issues. It decides as a group how it wants to use its term to affect change in the city. And if you want to, you apply, you download the application from civilgrandjury@sfgov.org. And again, that link is right there on my Facebook there. So let's just scroll down. You can see it's just right from the top there. The address is right here. Okay, how to subpoena government. So here's your link here, and that's the link to the video. So check it out. I strongly recommend somebody does this that doesn't have an agenda, that besides protecting our rights, our civil rights. Without civil rights, you have squat. So I'm just saying. Now, thanks for listening to that, and now we're gonna switch off to Shona's comments on Facebook about regarding Jeff Sessions announced, sort of like, well, we'll get to that, but see, we're still waiting. We're still waiting for them to legalize it. It's like 39 years left of uploading with Netscape Navigator still waiting for someone to legalize how fines and jail time like Prop 64's legalization. We're not really talking about Prop 64 today. I'm more talking about what Jeff Sessions had to say. And he, of course, he's about the most shocking attorney general we've ever had, and that's an understatement. I don't know how he actually got there. There's a whole lot of information about how the election went all pear-shaped. And so we have to participate in our government. We have to even, the Dutch are using paper ballots, which is pretty smart. I think we should do that too. With open source ballots, open source voting software, so you count it on the software and you have the ballots to back up the count. So here's what Shona had to say. She's not supporting how this has been translated into "Don't worry, remember this is outfit is the Wall Street of cannabis." Well, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, top cop, was saber rattling about how cannabis is going to be recriminalized on every level, and it seems like he might be walking it back, because let's see, and he indicated that the DOJ and the Drug Enforcement Agency probably won't take widespread action against the 8 states that have legalized recreational marijuana, whatever that is. I don't know what recreational marijuana is. It's just a way to put us in jail. So, anyway, it's the Trump administration may issue a stricter version of the Cole memo. Now, the Cole memo was under President Obama's administration, where we didn't prosecute patients as long as we've complied with state law. So that's more or less the outline of the Cole memorandum. And the Trump administration may issue a stricter version of the Cole memo, but those guidelines will likely remain in place for the foreseeable future, as the DOJ almost certainly won't be starting a war on the cannabis industry. Why? Any hands? Who knows? Well, it's probably because they're friends with the vulture capitalists that sell the pot. Well, the DEA has a long history of confiscating weed and then selling it back to us. So how is that any different? Now I'm being bold by saying that. Anyway, I'm not discounting it. Now, she isn't translating it into "don't worry." She's saying don't. She said Shona says not to. The "don't worry" thing is, worry. Basically, and I'll tell you why. We'll get to her. And her lovely dog passed away. That's Shona with her dog Lily. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful creature. And please send her your love. Here, look at her. Send her your love. And she's full of love. I've never met a creature so full of love. And she's part pit bull too. So there you go. Pit bulls are some of the sweetest dogs you can possibly have. So this is Shona now. I'm not getting sidetracked here, but I do miss her. She lived to be an old age, so that's good. Shona took really good care of her. Now, not supporting how this has been translated into "don't worry, remember this outfit was like the Wall Street of cannabis." Here's what Shona says. Sessions is simply speaking as any lawyer would about the Cole Memorial. It's correctly designed, and the Cole memo basically outlined when the DOJ would step in and where state lines are. So Sessions actually empowered local sheriff, and to that has been meeting with them. He understands that he needs to empower local government. And if you read an article by Angela Baca, who's Trump advisor, by the way, is invested in cannabis, entitled "The Golden Ticket." Funny how that works, huh? Yeah, the golden ticket. Okay, so you will understand that cannabis will be treated like anything else. He will favor his teammates, investments. Sessions mentioned the cannabis science of knowledge of how much THC, which lends itself to limited market via advance and restrictions coming down via scheduling. You know, we're talking about them doing GMO, low THC cannabis so that and they can make more money off of less crummier weed, actually. No other word for it. So, and then she says probably that in San Francisco, only the clubs that, you know, had compassion were forced to shut down, too. You know, the profiteers forced us to shut down. They gaslighted the compassionate community any way they could and outspent us, bought the candidates we worked for. And because we were working for a compassionate city with a compassionate garden for the low-income patients in the entire city. Ross Mercarimi had a non-binding resolution about it. Now that Ross, he wasn't afraid to, you know, put out some bold statements and bold laws. It was non-binding, means they aren't going to follow it. So anyway, so the highest bidder now, only the clubs that had compassion with a sense of cultural heritage were singled out for closure. And the big business cannabis clubs in San Francisco, it became more profitable for them, and they changed the narrative and blocked activists at City Hall. I've got all sorts of videos on my YouTube channel bearing proof that we were blocked time and over again by the industry. We had a committee at City Hall, and they would either filibuster or they wouldn't show up for quorum, or, you know, just all that. So we were really, really stonewalled. It's pitiful. So you know, so we're fighting. You know, I'm still, you know, punching my way out of a corner. Shona's punching her way out of. We're all punching our way out of a corner with a lot of things right now, and there's a lot of punches to plenty of places for them to go. Those punches, and so it'll be selective who they have a permit, and look at the crackdown on San Francisco, and they change the narrative and are busy selling out the rest of the clubs to the highest bidder. The rest of the clubs, like, you know, they'll probably start by maybe raising their rent or buying the space, you know, where that club is that actually even gives away anything. So that's awful. And Prop 64 threatening to, you know, take away our access to free cannabis is just evil, dude. Cannabis is meant to be shared. You know, it gets my blood pressure going. Oh, okay. Now, so Tarrant and some stupid merchants are paying them to lead them to the slaughterhouse. So some of them are actually, you know, they're duped into acting against their own best interests. A lot of those club owners, and that's true of a lot of the cannabis community. We're basically outspent a lot. So just look for more about Jeff Sessions, and yeah, it's a hot mess. It really is. It's a hot mess. And what else have I got here for you? It's 1 minute left. Okay, so see, I gave Shona a statement. Now I urge you to adopt a shelter pet. Also, there's a lot of them just a couple blocks from the studio here over on Alabama and 16th Street. So check them out. They're waiting for you. And I'm really glad I've got my cats. It's wonderful. And what have I got left? 39. Okay, so, you know, we just have to punch our way out of a corner, people. We really do. We really do. And we will, too. We just join Democratic clubs. Watch Frank Molinaro's show on public access. Oh, God, I'm so glad I didn't forget to say that. And I'll see you, I guess it'll be in early April. And I would like to thank you very much for watching. Oh yeah, Frank Molinaro shows Thursday, I guess it's a week from today, so 23rd. It will be on the 23rd at 5 p.m., this channel. Well, thanks for watching.